Hi, Aidan. Hope you had a good Christmas and New Year. It's been a couple of weeks since we chatted, so um, kind of a bunch of things to go over. So kind of just kind of go for it, really. The week before, so Christmas is on the Tuesday. That sort of week before, I was in Poland, in the south of Poland, in a mountain range with my friend, and it was really good fun. The reason I mention it is I didn't do any training that week, but I did go on three pretty long walks. Each were maybe about between 15 and 20k. Um, the third one was a bit shorter, but certainly two of them were towards 20k. And I was like tired after it, like muscular tired. Um, but I didn't have any pain or anything like that really. So I was pleased about that, and that's kind of just a positive um, thing to kind of note. And then kind of came back and over Christmas and New Year, obviously with the gyms being closed and things like that, I trained. Excuse me. Excuse me. I trained as much as I could. With regard to like when things are open. But it's that sort of time of year. You're going you're doing things with friends and family. You're eating a lot, so on and so forth. So when I was there, I did what I did, and when I didn't, I didn't, and it's fine. It doesn't really bother me. Um, but yeah, sort of kind of going over specific stuff. In general, upper body stuff is fine. It's kind of taking along. There's a few things I've kind of um, noticed that I'll just sort of talk about. Firstly, when I do the weighted push-ups, I found that two things. Firstly, I use a block between my thighs and squeeze them in for for the adductors, and when I do that versus when I don't do it, I feel like a significant stability difference um, in in my body. So because I'll do a couple of sets with block, and then if I do one set without, just instantly, I just everything feels really kind of a lot more unstable. Then I put the block back in, and it seems to be fine. So just kind of working with that. Um, the Yeah, this was kind of a weird one, and it will come on to something we'll talk on in a bit. But when I was going to do the one arm lat pull down um, on one of the days, I can't remember when it was, recently, like 2 days ago or something like that. Whenever I sat in that seated position, the left TFL and sort of, I guess, maybe like psoas, but kind of low down, kind of like um, high groin, but like slightly towards the front, just started cramping. It was really weird. So I stretched out, and I found that if I went to different bit and sat on the floor with legs kind of extended, and instead of having a more vertical posture, I kind of just leant back quite heavily. So it was more of a row than a specific vertical pull, but it seemed to be okay. So that's kind of weird. But we're going to come on to lower body stuff in a minute. The other thing that I've noticed is I'm doing I'm not really sure what to call it, but it's like it's that the press against a wall. So the Swiss ball's here, you're leaning against it, kind of like a 45-degree angle, and you're doing a press. So it's kind of like the position a landmine would be in, but just in a different way with two arms. What I've found is as soon as when I start to get tired and fatigued, the I have a choice. Either I get full arm range of motion, um, or sorry, either I don't get full arm range of motion and I still get the shoulder blade the shoulder blade coming forward, or if I want to get full arm range of motion, it has to pop up, which is really weird because at the start it's fine. I can get both without it just popping, but as I get fatigued, I can't do both, which is kind of weird. So maybe it's a weight issue or something. Anyway, um, yeah, the chop continues to be a little bit of bane of my existence. For something that I think should be a very simple and straightforward thing to do. I just really, really struggle with it. And almost every workout that I do it in, there's something that I guess like prevents me doing it, or you know, so for example, it might be like the sort of left QL starts to sort of feel like that's tightening, or other times like I just can't like stabilize myself and I feel like I'm rocking around and stuff. So I work at it, but it's one of those ones that's like, man, this shouldn't be as hard as it is. And the thing is, the weight that I'm using is literally, it's like 3 kilos. It's minimal. It's seriously low, and um, yeah, I just find it kind of a funny one because I feel like it should be a lot easier than it is. Um, but hey ho. Um, so on to the normal stuff we have to talk about. Of course, the lower body. Glute bridges. I found um, that if instead of taking like a sort of like feet out stance, um, like you would if you were going to go for a squat or something like that, because some people do glute bridges and things like that. I find if my feet are parallel and my thighs are parallel over it, and there's no sort of like external rotation, um, that's the best position for me for a glute bridge back on the ground. Um, yeah, I'm telling you that because I guess maybe it plays into everything else that's going on with the lower body. Um, and tend to kind of feel a bit beaten up after I do the low body sessions. My no, sorry, my left kind of hip area really kind of tends to feel a bit beaten up. So there's always something. There's always going to be pain, like in the TFL or like in that kind of glute med area. Sometimes the SI joint. Sometimes it's like um, that kind of where I was talking about the cramping, the kind of like sort of 2 inches, I guess maybe like 2 inches left of the belly button and straight down, kind of where like the V of the abs kind of goes, like if that makes sense. In there, sometimes hurts. Sometimes it feels like there's like a spike that goes through there, straight through the SI joint. Um, it's not crazy painful. It's just there's always something that's niggling and sore and um, yeah, and I I put it into context, and I appreciate how much better I am versus what I was. So I'm not like down in the dumps or anything about it. Um, it's frustrating, obviously, but I appreciate that it's a path, and I'm much further along it than I was, and that's great. And I continue to be positive about that. Just putting that out there. Um, and the other thing that I've noticed is twice so once today and once on, I can't remember, maybe it was last week sometime. I went in, and today was deadlifts and the other one was rack pulls I was going to do. Both lower body sessions. In the warm ups, I did all the warm up stuff, and then in the warm up sets for the exercises, I could not stop the left SI joint being uh, sore. Not it's maybe a 3 out of 10, but it was like an awareness of it, and that like it shouldn't be sore, and it didn't matter what I did, I couldn't stop it. I couldn't get it to not do it. Um, so when it was the rack pulls, it was basically right at the start once I'm trying to pull off the rack. When it was the deadlift today, really once I was trying to do a hip extension, that's what kind of triggered it. And yeah, it didn't matter what I did. Like I tried some breathing stuff. I tried some the adductor thing, focusing on trying to get the obliques to stabilize, changing range of motion. Just couldn't do it. So that's kind of been something that's been a little annoying the last two sort of sessions, but as I say, I kind of appreciate that I'm further down the line, and that's okay. There's a couple of videos I'm going to send there. I'm just checking what they are. They're rack pulls. Um, Sorry, I'm just going to close it. Uh, that's the end of basically my report. There's a couple of videos I'm going to send, which are rack pull ones. There's also a lat pull down because I think my scaps aren't doing what they should be doing. So you could have a look at that, and I think there might be a couple other ones as well. I'm not sure. I've got some stuff, so I'll just send it all through. But anyway, that's that. Yeah, as I say, I hope you had a good Christmas and New Year, and I'll chat soon. All right.